everyone, thank you for stopping by to see what I'm going to show you today. So I had a friend call me and she was in desperate need for a couple of cards that needed to get out fairly quickly. So the first card she had actually bought at the store, but then when she realized it, she was giving it to somebody who's getting ready to celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary. And after she bought the card and she realized that at the bottom of the card, there was this part that said, I love you. And she was like, she liked the card, but then she really didn't want that on there. So she brought the card over to me and I told her I could cut it down and redesign it. And so that's basically what I did. So here was the back side of the card that she bought. So I basically just took the card, and this part was the part she brought me that had this part at the bottom. And see, if you notice, it had a border there, and the sides had that same border. And so I told her, well, I could just cut that off. But the thing was then it was going to look funny because the other three sides would have a border. So I says, well, let me go ahead and work with this and see what I can come up with. And I ended up cutting that border off, and I also cut it down because the envelope that she brought me was a 5x7 because that was what the size of the original card was. So I had to play around with it for a little bit and decide what I was going to do. So I ended up adhering it to two layers of mats here. So I put Flirty Flamingo underneath it, and then the card base is Poppy Parade, and then the next mat there is the Early Espresso. And I pulled in the colors from the card for that. But again, because I did some cutting off, it wasn't laying nicely on a 5x7. So I ended up just going ahead and putting a strip of paper here. And I had this Flirty Flamingo that was just kind of hanging out there. So I brought in one of those embossing folders, that are the thin ones. And so I brought this in, and I just kind of embossed the bottom there because I wanted to add that word forever there on top of that Flirty Flamingo. But I didn't want it just on the paper itself without a little something. So that's why I brought in those little hearts. And then because these little hearts up here are like when you do quilling. So there is quite a bit of dimension on the card already. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I just go ahead and on the forever layer it up so it's pretty thick like those hearts are. So I took some Poppy Parade cardstock and I put some of my adhesive sheets on the back because I knew that I was going to be die cutting that forever out. Now I didn't want to have to put glue on every layer. So I don't remember what I did. I might have done 5 layers, but you can see I made that pretty thick, pretty much like the hearts were, because I figured the hearts are there anyway and it's going to already be bulky. So I wanted to pop up that forever. And I got that from this Sweet Silhouettes. And there was that sentiment in there. Well, then she purchased a little heart gift that had a tree on it. And that's why she liked this card so much. So she wanted a specific saying on the inside. So I went ahead and I had to create that in Canva and then print it off on my printer. So here's the inside. And I just matched the happy anniversary with the Poppy Parade, and then the sentiment I did in Early Espresso, matched it as far as the colors go. But then I wanted to add a little bit of that tree because this kind of reminded me of what she had on the gift. So what I did was I just, again, with the adhesive sheets on the back of some early espresso, I die cut this piece out that was also in that Sweet Silhouettes. And then I just adhered a piece of that to the side of the card there. So that was a remake of a store-bought card for her. So I hope she likes it. I wanted to do this video before I got rid of the card because she's going to stop by to pick it up tomorrow sometime. So I thought I better get a video done so that I can show you all how you can even take a store-bought card and jazz it up and create a whole different look of a card. So that was the first one. The second one was she had to get a card for somebody who just got told that they're being put into hospice. They have a heart issue of some sort. And so, I mean, the lady's like 92 or something. So it's not it's not like she's a young person with a heart issue. But still, she really cares for this person. And there was a story, she wanted me to make her a card with a turtle. And it was because one time this lady that just got put into hospice was going through a rough time in her life, and she was somewhere, I don't know if she was on a beach or whatever, but she said that a turtle came up and sat right next to her. And she just felt like it was God just telling her, you know, everything was going to be okay. And obviously it was okay. I mean, I don't know how long ago that happened or what was going on. But that's just such a sweet story. So that's why my friend wanted a card with a turtle. Well, because I was rushed and I needed to get these cards done quickly, I just pulled in my this paper. I think it's called oh, what's it called? In the Rain. I can't remember now what it's called. I'll have to put the name of it on the video when I edit it, but it was bundled with this Plain in the Rain, but I know the paper, I think it was called something else. But anyway, I pulled this in because I thought, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and make this a quick card. And so I just found this turtle in here and I fussy cut around it because I thought I didn't want to have to stamp and color and all that stuff, because like I said, she was kind of in a hurry and I have a lot of things I got to get done, and so I was in a hurry to get this done. So here is the card that I created for her. And I used some of that paper in there because he's holding that little daisy flower, so I wanted that paper. And this was the back side of it. And then I brought in my the quite curvy dies, and I pulled out this one right here. And what I did was I used the one side to you know, well, I used the whole thing to do my curve, but I really wanted this on the front, so I used the leftover for the inside of the card. And it was a little longer, but I cut it down. And then I put this designer paper all the way across. And then I did another, I cut another of that with the curvy thing. And this is in Old Olive, so that I could kind of line that up there against that paper. And then my scallop came from the Layering Circles framelets. And then I thought it was, I wanted a little more color between the white and that. So I brought in my 2.5-inch circle punch to punch out the Mango Melody. And then for this circle, I pulled that from the stitched shapes. And then I did a little sponging around the edges with the Balmy Blue, because that was the color that was in this paper. And then I fussy cut him out and glued him down. So all this is glued down, and then this layer is popped up just a little bit on top of that scallop there. And then she wanted it to say thinking of you, because I had found a sentiment from a stamp set called, I can't remember the stamp set, but I don't own it. But the sentiment said, you are either you are turtily loved. And she really liked that, but I didn't have that stamp set. So I asked her, I said, do you just want me to put that on the front, or do you want me to say thinking of you on the front? And then on the inside, I could create the you are turtily loved and also print that on my printer and match it with the card base, the lettering. And she says, yeah, do that. So that's what I went ahead and did. And this thinking of you, I stamped it in the Mango Melody, because that was the color that's in this paper and the matting that I used. And I pulled that thinking of you from this Gifts of Kindness. And then I punched it out with this punch right here. So that was the second card that I did today. And I think it came out really cute. I think, this is a very cheery card. You don't want to say get well soon to somebody who's in hospice, because that's not what's going to happen. But you can send them a card and cheer them up. And I think this is a very cheery card. So then she can just write her little note in there. So there we go. That's what I had to show you today. And I hope you enjoyed these cards and the stories behind them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, you can show me your joy by giving it a thumbs up. Okay, well, until my next video, have fun crafting, everyone. And remember, choose joy, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.